Ridley is a master. When you know that when you know that Ridley knows what you're doing, and that he trusts, he has sufficient trust of the credibility that you've earned, that he's okay with it, and he's okay with you being the one to do it. That's surreal, Like, I can't wait for his film Prometheus. I can't wait for it. Ridley's a master. I mean, all of us are just humble servants compared to a guy like him. So it's pretty amazing to just be. And here's the thing: that man is so talented. When he showed his original storyboards for Alien, he draws his own storyboards. He's an artist. He created that work. He didn't just have someone else draw the pictures that he was thinking of. He drew his own storyboards out. Really great guy. There's two things. One is we want a sequel to Aliens that never existed. And so this game, Aliens Colonial Marines, is the sequel to Aliens. What's exciting about it is it's a sequel in video game form. That's where our industry is. The sequel to Aliens is a freaking video game. That's awesome, right? So as a video game, you want to live that fantasy. Right? I want to use their equipment. I want to be in those situations. I want to see if I can pass the test. And I want the variety of situations. I also want some surprises. I want some fan service. There's some things that I love from the films that have to be there. But I want to see things I've never seen before, and I want to have a new story, a new experience, so that I can't exactly predict what's going to happen. Well, when you parse the films, Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3, you look for your opportunities to connect with it. So in this game, it's a sequel to the second film. It's actually a sequel to the third film, but because we're Colonial Marines, it's really connected to the second film. You're part of the crew that's going back to LV-426. If you remember in the movie, there was this line where they said, I think Ripley asked Hicks.
Wenn die feststellen, dass wir überfällig sind, wie lange wird es bis zur Rettung dauern?
And Hicks says,
17 Tage.
I think Hudson.
17 Tage? Ich will euch zwar nicht die Laune verderben, aber wir stehen es noch nicht mal 17 Stunden durch.
And that's an opportunity. In this game, you're part of that crew. You are on the Sephora, another Conestoga class starship, the same type of ship that the Sulaco is, and you're going to be going back to LV-426 to find out what happened. You're part of a battalion-sized crew. What this affords us is we're going to get back onto the Sulaco. We're going to go back down to LV-426. Since we get to do those things, we get to recreate those things. We get to see what the hangar, where the fight with the alien queen was in the Sulaco. There's half of Bishop's body. So fortunately, for those exact references, the material is there. We can see it in the film. But we had to build and fully realize the space that we only saw from a few angles. To this, we go to the source, Sid Mead. Sid Mead is the futurist, the artist who concepted. He designed the Sulaco. Right? He designed these things, and he can tell us all the spaces that were never shot on film and show us the plans and draw the things that either show us the drawings that he already did or draw new things to fill in all the spaces that we need in the game. And this is really exciting. It's been a long process, but it's been a passionate one that we're very excited to have undertaken. So the game was first announced when a press release came out. That press release, the ink wasn't even dry on the contracts. We hadn't even written a line of code yet. Everyone was so excited that the deal had happened, that the commitment of capability, of resources, and the credibility and the power of 20th Century Fox and Sega and Gearbox had all managed to agree to do this, that some folks involved in that business process were excited to tell everyone that a deal had been successfully put together. So right before we'd even started working on the game, a press release was announced. I think if I could do it again, well, I don't want to. I'm not sure. I think there's been some benefits from it, but it's too early. For example, Borderlands. By the time Aliens Colonial Marines ships, it has about the same development cycle that Borderlands had. But we didn't talk about Borderlands until we were pretty much alpha with the game. So you don't know about that first part. You're not having any thinking about it for the first couple of years of development. Aliens didn't do that. It announced itself the moment the deal was signed, before a line of code was even written. And I do kind of regret the expectations that sets, because as soon as it was announced, it became a promise, and everybody I want it right now. I want it right now. We haven't even written a line of code yet, and I know I already want it. So it makes it hard to wait for it to actually be built. Having said that, I am actually very grateful for the opportunity that afforded us to share our prototype of the game in Game Informer magazine. It was on the cover of Game Informer magazine in 2008, and we were able to share the promise and the graphics that we were getting with the prototype. And this was a great test because it allowed people to see it and provide us feedback. And what we learned was, this is a good promise to make. People are very excited about this promise. We also got some great notes about some of the details, and that's actually affected development in a positive way. So I'm actually thankful for that opportunity. But I do know as a fan that it can be frustrating to wait for something that I know I already want. And we're working as hard as we're killing ourselves, working as hard as we can. We want to make sure it's good and that we realize that vision, but we don't want to wait any more than anyone else does. So we're almost there. We're almost there. Haha, which came first, the alien or the egg? I actually know the answer to this question. And there is a definitive answer, but I don't think I should tell you, because I don't know. It's possible that could be a component of Prometheus.
Ich würde sagen, so viel kann man zum Dienstag sagen, der dann gefolgt wurde vom Mittwoch des Schreckens. Nein, das ist jetzt übertrieben gesagt, aber der Mittwoch stinkt schon ab gegen den Dienstag.
Ja, absolut. Also wir hatten halt eben noch die Interviews gehabt. Und,
du musst sagen, wir waren bei Gearbox direkt. Die sind nämlich auch hier in Dallas. Oder die sind gerade hier in Dallas. Und da waren wir eingeladen, um weitere Interviews zu führen und natürlich dann auch nochmal eine Studio-Tour zu bekommen. Aber auf die kommen wir gleich noch zurück, würde ich sagen. Wichtig waren erstmal die Interviews. Da hatten wir dann zum einen den Lead-Designer, dessen Namen ich jetzt nicht im Kopf habe, aber er stellt sich bestimmt selber vor, oder wir untertiteln ihn. Der hat einige interessante Dinge gesagt, wie er es geschafft hat, die Atmosphäre in das Spiel zu holen, und ja, wir lassen ihn für sich selbst sprechen.
It's one of my favorite film franchises of all time. I've been in the games industry for a long time. I've made a lot of first-person shooters, and I think Randy's spoke to this before. It's like I've stolen from this movie for so long, reference for weapons and locations and these kinds of things. How to present science fiction in a convincing way. I've stolen from it for years, and I've always loved it. And the idea that now I get to actually work on the source material, the actual thing, is awesome. It's great. Love it. I didn't get to. Brian Martell, he's the real heart and soul of this project. He got to do that, and I'm so jealous. But he got to go meet with Ridley Scott, and Ridley brought out his original storyboards for the Alien film, and it has all of his notes on it and everything from when the film was made. And he and Brian went through the storyboards together, and Brian was able to get a bit of insight into the sort of the mind of the alien and that kind of thing, which was great. I'm jealous that I wasn't there to participate in that. It allows us to do things that we couldn't otherwise do, for gameplay wise. There's two elements to it. One of them is just a visual thing where we wanted to recreate the visual style and the look from the film, and we weren't able to do that with the renderer we had, because there's some interesting aspects to the way the film was presented that we couldn't really achieve. So we made some changes to the renderer and particularly the lighting to accomplish that, which is nice because it gives it a very authentic feel and an authentic look. The other thing that it gives us is the ability to do some things with gameplay. We have a lot of dynamic lighting and that kind of thing, so we can have areas where the lights go off dark, or flashing lights and strobing areas and these kinds of things that are very reminiscent of the film, but they also play into the aspects of gameplay, because they play into the idea of Xenos being able to hunt you and those very tense moments, that kind of stuff. I've seen the movies a lot because I'm an enormous nerd and an enormous fan. So I don't. it's funny. I don't necessarily go back and watch them, but we have them all, ripped to our machines. So very frequently I'll be working on some space or something and go, man, that's kind of like that, and you'll just pull it up and scrub through real quick and take a look at a scene and go, okay, yeah, we can use that, and then you'll go on to do the design. So I think that we're referencing them a ton. It's almost a daily thing where we're looking at different areas and different scenes and drawing inspiration from those and getting those kinds of. We always talk about fan fiction, our fan fantasy satisfaction. So we try to put in moments in the gameplay that harken back to experiences that happened in the movie. So you get to live a lot of those sequences and play them out interactively in the game.
Ja, außerdem am Mittwoch gab es eine Studiotour,
Ja.
wobei es, glaube ich, eine Beleidigung ist für andere Studiotouren, eine Gearbox-Studiotour, Studiotour zu nennen.
Du, X. Wir scheinen noch Besuch zu kriegen.
Abgesehen von dieser Studiotour gab es aber auch lecker Schmackofatz.
Ja.
Es wurde ein Buffet aufgefahren und abgesehen davon haben die einfach so Fressalienräume, in denen sie ihrem Chef eine Mail schreiben können, was sie da gerne hätten, meinetwegen Pringles. Blödes Beispiel, aber dann schicken sie dem eine Mail und dann haben die einfach in jedem ihrer 3 Kämmerleins
Pringles.
Ja, so eine 5 Liter Kiste voll Pringles und die wird immer wieder aufgefüllt.
Das ganze Studio war dann natürlich auch vollgepackt mit Alien-Krams. Ein paar
Alien,
Dinge,
Duke und Borderlands.
Genau, Alien, Duke und Half-Life.
Stimmt, ja.
Half-Life, weil Randy Pitchford da ja irgendwie mitgemacht. Naja, auf jeden Fall ein paar Sachen waren halt eben ganz nett. Einmal die Wand mit diesen alten Actionfiguren aus den alten Filmen. Wo ganz verschiedene Aliens waren, Scorpion-Alien.
Davon hatte ich ja welche, ne? 3 Stück. Ja, als Kind.
Ich fand übrigens, der Capone sah ziemlich scheiße aus. Der sah aus wie so ein amerikanischer Volleyballspieler.
Ja, ach,
und der Bishop auch.
Die Humans sind alle kacke, aber ich weiß noch, ich hatte die Flying Alien Queen, ich hatte die Facehacker Queen und das grüne Viech, dessen Namen ich gerade vergessen habe.
Ja, wahrscheinlich Scorpion Alien. Es gab ja von jedem Tier irgendwie, glaube ich, einen Alien. Ein Gorilla Alien. Von denen haben die sich aber wohl Inspiration geholt für ihr Spiel. Auch waren da Artworks bei und ein Artwork fiel mir besonders auf von einem Kopf, der sehr ähnlich aussah wie Bishop, eigentlich 1:1. Weil die haben ja eigentlich nie wirklich zugegeben, ob Bishop vielleicht irgendwie doch noch eine Rolle haben wird. Beziehungsweise ich vermute einfach, dass ein anderer Bishop oder Wayland vielleicht selber, wir wissen ja aus dem 3. Teil des Films, kommt Wayland selber, Ripley denkt, das ist Bishop und da erzählt er halt eben, nee, alle Androiden sehen so aus wie ich.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, also hatte ich das jetzt überrascht, also ich bin fest davon ausgegangen, dass auf jeden Fall in diesem Franchise-Titel Charaktere wie Bishop einfach nochmal, gerade weil er nun mal ein Android ist, noch öfter, oder Humanoid, ist noch öfter vorkommen. Also natürlich ist es ein netter Clou gewesen, dass da dieser Screen hing und man gesehen hat, er ist das, beziehungsweise einer seiner Mehrfach-Doppelgänger.
Oder der Originale.
Oder der Originale, der ja wiederum halbiert wurde.
Nee, der Wayland, davon
Ach, okay, du meinst das humane Negativ.
Genau. Das Original.
Das Original. Ja, also generell kann man sagen, es wurde sehr viel geschwärmt, dass der gute Ridley Scott selber Storyboards gezeichnet hat, dass er einfach Input gegeben hat, also effektiv mitgearbeitet an dem Spiel hat er nicht, aber er hat halt viel Input gegeben und da waren die Leute sehr dankbar für. Ja, was natürlich bei einem Alien-Spiel auch existenziell ist die Story, die ja nun gerade dadurch betont, dass es ein Sequel ist, einfach auch die Brücke schlagen muss zwischen dem Ende von Teil 2